How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome to this collab video. Another what if. I have another good friend I have here, Mr. Good Cheer Dave. We've been chatting for a little bit, so we want to go ahead and hop on here and discuss this week's what if. And it's a good one. He brought this to my attention. I didn't even think of this one. He brought it up. He's the mastermind of this one, and I'm excited to speak to him. Dave, say hello. You know, you said hi to me, sitting here blabbing we've been sitting here blabbing for a while, so I guess it's time for us to talk to the crowd a little bit.
Yeah, hello everybody. Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, brother. I appreciate it. I've been really looking forward to doing this collab. It's actually going to be the first time I've done a collab. As I was mentioning to you earlier, my channel just hit 100 subscribers. I'm really excited.
Guys, y'all clap it up for him, because we all know if you hit that triple-digit number, that thing shows 3 numbers, you know, you kind of blink at it, right? You want to make sure it's real, and that it just nobody unsubscribe in the next minute. Let me enjoy this minute. Right?
That's all I'm asking for. I'm gonna print screen it. I'm gonna print it out and put it underneath my pillow and sleep with it tonight, just because it's that awesome. Yeah, you know, I was watching one of your videos and I just thought, what if Wednesday, first of all, is such an amazing concept because it's so versatile. You can go in so many different directions. And, you know, our channels have a very similar theme, and it's really about the individual progressing forward and constructing ideas and things to build a bigger, better, brighter future for all of us. And, you know, one of the concepts that came to mind as I was watching one of your videos was, what if you had lunch with your ultimate self, like who you envisioned to be the best version of yourself? What would a lunch be like with that individual? So I said, oh my God, I gotta let him know, I gotta tell him, I gotta get him dialed in on this, because I just think this would be an amazing topic, and everybody I know who comes to your channel faithfully and watches all of your episodes would really enjoy this content as well. So I just thought, we got to do this.
We got to. And now, we're eating lunch. Are we going to talk about the food too, or?
We can save that for Instagram. I don't know. You know, a lot of people like to take pictures of the food on Instagram. We just keep it to let's get the conversation going, I think.
I had to be sure, because I love food.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I love food. Before we hop into the question, because you know, you're here, some folks may know you, some folks may have interacted with you. You know, we have the core group that have probably seen you sprinkle in and comment here and there, but for those who haven't seen you yet, which is a shame, haven't seen him yet, shame. This guy's funny, he's entertaining, he's inspiring, he's empowering, and he's a good guy. Just talk about what you do and your channel for a second, Dave, and just let them know.
Yeah, well, very briefly, my name is Dave Tucker. I make videos in regards to betterment of self, and how can I be a better father, a better brother, a better husband? How can I improve myself? And the videos I make in my channel are all about really taking the necessary effort to at least discover and start to question those type of scenarios. And the videos I make, I post new videos every Thursday. You can find me by searching Good Cheer Dave. Really, I try to keep my content in affirming the positive. I've never found anybody who's converted to anything because they lost an argument or because they were proven wrong. So what I do is I stick to the positive. If you like what I talk about, if you like a positive message, then you probably would love the content I have. I'd love for you to come to my channel, check it out, and just talk, you know, get the community going, and getting all the questions and stuff back and forth is really fun to socialize on YouTube as well. So I'm very grateful and thankful for the opportunity, and I just love making these videos.
Nice.
Yeah.
I really think people will enjoy it. If you all like what's here, you'll like what he does. I mean, he has this nice alter ego that maybe hit the sub button that he does. I won't give it away because I want y'all to get kind of caught off guard by it. I feel like I'm spoiling it just by talking about it right now, but it's really it's interesting. I love it. We were talking before, and we have this kind of tight community of folks that are really good at interacting, being social. I mean, you yourself, you brought it up. You see Rishi Cup TV all over the place. You see Terrell Smith all over the place. Tamara Weeks has been stepping her game up. I feel like she's commenting like crazy, even more so than before. And the other core group of people, I'm not isolating you all just for the sake of conversation. We had made a suggestion, and Dave, you brought this up, and there is a section on our pages that has awesome channel there, or it's related channels, or you can set it up, and we should get together and find ways to support one another. I also have a section on my channel where I spotlight YouTubers and great videos that I find, especially from those core group of folks. You have a video on that list. Many of you, Rishi, Terrell, I believe Tamara, all of you have videos on that list. If not, there shall be one there, and I try to add folks to it over time, and it kind of rotates. So we just want to make sure we're supporting everyone, supporting one another in this journey to grow. So
most definitely.
Exactly.
Most definitely, yeah.
Exactly. But enough with all that, because I don't want to, y'all are here for the what if. This is going to be a juicy one. I like it. So I'm going to give Dave the honor of starting this off. I want to know, people want to know, if you had lunch with the self that you want to be, your ultimate self, who you really aspire to be, if you had lunch with yourself, what would the conversation be about? What would you ask? What would be the topic? Let us know.
Yeah, I started off that process on my own by writing out a list of 3 different questions, and in the realms of physical, mental, and spiritual. So I first asked myself, physically, where do I see myself progressing to in a year?
Nice.
The second question was, where do I see myself progressing to in 3 years? And then the third question was, how do I envision my ultimate self? And I did those 3 questions for all 3 categories. And I surprised myself, and I think everybody who actually sits down and it took about 20, 25 minutes to actually give honest, sincere, responses to those questions. And by doing so, I gave myself a target, a plan. I think it was Zig Ziglar who said, most people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan. And I know by taking some effort into the realm of planning something out, you're going to get much closer to your goal versus not planning anything at all. So I gave myself that opportunity to answer those questions and find out who my ultimate self would be in those areas. Now keep in mind, every moment that we live is going to alter those questions. So it might be good for the individual once a year to sit down and do that. In fact, I've given myself a goal every New Year's. Instead of making a list of New Year's resolutions, I want to update my list for those 3 questions in those 3 categories. That way I'm not putting myself in a situation to either succeed or fail. I'm merely updating what my intentions are for myself. So you always win when you do that. You can't not fulfill that.
Right.
You don't put yourself in a position to be like, there it was, another New Year's resolution on the toilet by February 1st, right? No. You give yourself an opportunity to continually grow. So now that I've got this on paper of who I feel I'm going to be mentally, physically, and spiritually, I said, well, what kind of questions would I ask myself? And some of the very basic things were, what habits should I develop in order to make sure my intentions are in line, or are in line with who I want to be. And boy, that was a big question
Yeah.
because what habits? Okay, well, I also read a long time ago someone somewhere, I don't know exactly, I can't quote, but it said a man cannot decide his future. He can decide his habits, and his habits decide his future. And of course, man, women, it transcends gender. But the point is that if you develop steady, healthy, sincere habits, it's going to do nothing but point you in the direction you should be going, at the very least. So, yeah, that was the first question that came to mind. What habits should I currently be developing that would get me make sure that I'm in line with being who I want to be? And the first answer that came up with was you should be updating your goals once a year. And that's where I came up with the idea on, okay, January 1st, my New Year's resolutions will be to update my list. And that way I can check last year's list and say, wow, here's where I've come in those categories. And then I can look next year and I can give myself a really honest and adequate judgment of where I really should be going based off of how much I've improved from last year. I can see exactly a healthy amount of progress for next year. So that's what I came up with in the first set of questions.
Nice. I love that one. I think when you bring up habits, there's a book I read called The Slight Edge,
Hmm.
and it's one of those books that most people won't ever hear about.
Hmm.
I love it. I think it was a great book. It was actually given to me through a network marketing company that I had kind of linked up with because they do a lot of self-empowerment products, books,
Nice.
tapes, audios. Again, the network marketing thing is a whole long other conversation, and it's not really my main deal. I just did it just so I had access to some of these products that they have. I haven't really offered them to people, but the guy who brought me in gave me this book. He said, "Check this out. I think you're gonna love it." So I read it. First I opened it up and I'm like, well, this sounds kind of like one of those hunky dory books. I mean, it's really
Yeah.
nothing crazy. And when I started reading it, I was like, this book is so simple yet so right,
Right.
bringing up the idea that success really is about habits. It's about doing those little easy, simple things over time, and that is what makes the result. So when you bring that up and saying that's what it was, that's a great response. That's a great thing to say. I think, and it's funny because when you brought this question up, I said, okay, am I going to think about this extensively and come up with a very well thought out answer?
Hmm.
Or should I think about it for a minute and just kind of go off the top of the head when the video starts? And so I'm going off the top of the head, kind of, sort of, just because
Oh boy.
I like it. I feel like I want to give a more organic answer in the
Sure.
moment, especially being able to go off of kind of what you said. Because I could have easily thought of, okay, what habits do I want to do? 'Cause I
Right.
always think about habits. That's part of my challenge videos.
Yeah.
It's about establishing habits. So I think that's a big thing. I
Yeah.
think when I think about it, I did an internet show with a guy a couple weeks ago, and I should throw that link down here somewhere. I don't know if he's actually giving me access to it. I've done a couple of them.
Okay.
Excuse my memory, but he asked me, okay, what the biggest advice you would give somebody?
Hmm.
What does somebody need? What are a couple of things that somebody needs to grow and to change? And so, I'm sitting there thinking, I kind of connected to this question is, if I were to look at my ultimate self, because we ultimately don't know exactly what our ultimate self is going to be. Like you said, it
Right.
moves and it changes. I know I have my goals set out like you have goals set out. I want to have a certain amount I want to be good with people. I want to have a certain amount of calm, a certain amount of poise, a certain amount of confidence, and a certain amount of instinct and be able to go with my gut on things. And that's easy for me to think of. But what I'm interested in is kind of going on with the habits, but when was there a shift? Right?
Hmm.
When was there a shift? Like, at what point in time was there something that happened or a thought you had, or was there a moment, something someone said to you that created a shift that changed all of your habits? that allowed you to start practicing things that would mold that mindset, that would make me better as a person, better as a partner, better as a father, better in all areas, just more warm, more patient, more knowledgeable, more energetic. Just what point or what perspective? Because the answer I ultimately gave on this interview was, you know, a lot of us don't know what we don't know, and we just lack a certain perspective. And I've definitely had moments already, and that's kind of what has got me to this point, which that's what got you to where you are, is that you received a perspective that was outside of what you even would have considered. And when you got that perspective, things changed. You could shift, and you didn't know you were going to have that shift. You didn't know what was going to happen, but essentially, it was what you needed, and it's really what started the new habits. And none of us know this thing, so I'm interested. I would love to speak to that person to say, you know, Mr. Morgan, Justin,
yeah.
At what point? I'm sure he look at you. You know, I can't tell you that.
I'm going to give you a red pill and a blue pill and ask you which one you want. You know, it sounds like you're looking for the catalyst. You know,
exactly.
Like, what was that spark that
exactly.
And, you know, it's also when I was thinking about this question, I was like, you know, it can be quite dangerous for a lot of people to ask themselves this question without it being put into proper context. Right. You know, when you ask yourself, who is my ultimate self, it should not be something that you envision to judge who you currently are now from. This is not something to look at your current state of view and say, oh God, I'm lacking in all these areas, and look how pitiful I am in health or mental or spiritual, and I just don't even feel that I'm going to ever be that person, that ultimate self. It should not be from that perspective. It should be from a healthy perspective of contrast. You know, I am a firm believer that it is infinitely more important the direction you are headed as opposed to where you are right now. And I think if people can put that healthy context behind this question, then you can see the good nature of this question, and it won't turn into something that's harmful. So please just make sure that when you guys ask this question to yourself, that you do it with that healthy context behind it, because then it makes it fun. And if it's not worth, you know, if it's not fun, then it's not worth doing. You don't want to damage yourself at all. So, you know, and these, just like I noticed that you do with most of your videos, you don't really pose these questions so that way you could answer them and hand your audience a finished product. You really pose this question to stimulate the response. So we would love you guys to please comment below. Of course, subscribe to our channels. Make sure that you're engaging back and forth with this conversation. What are some of the things that you've done, that you've come up with when you've had lunch with your ultimate self? Who is your ultimate self? If you care to share any of that, we would love to go back and forth and just build our community. Both of our channels are really about uplifting and lifting everybody up that's like-minded. And we really appreciate all of you guys participating and being such faithful watchers and subscribers.
Nice. You summed that up really well. I appreciate you saving me the time of summing everybody up here. Thank you all if you're watching to this point. I know it's been a long conversation, but it's a really, really fun conversation.
Yeah.
You know, Dave, I was waiting a long time to speak to you. You know, this is really good finally get this video up and going. And so heed his advice, people. Take this question as it is, as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to beat yourself up. And of course, we'll be down there speaking and discussing and laughing and sharing experiences as we usually do. I'm going to go ahead and throw up some links for his channel, for some of his videos. Make sure that you all check him out. And as usual, treat each day as a building block to a better future. Peace.
Peace.
It's merely belief. Faith transcends belief. It goes above and beyond. Belief can be fixated. It can be static.
think that success happens overnight. Or we just all think that success is very pretty. When we see these people that are very successful, we often forget that their history isn't something they often advertise. It's not something they often explain. They don't always go into depth of what it took for them. We're all so wrong, so wrong about time. At least most of us. And I know I was. Listen up. So we may not all be wrong about time. I wanted to visit and talk about this concept of time because we all grow up using that clock.